back to episode 3 of Primal Talk. I'm doing a solo episode today. Just had some stuff I needed to get off my chest. I wanted to talk to you guys about anxiety. Over 40 million people in the United States alone, and that's just over the age of 18, are diagnosed with anxiety disorders. And I believe it's around 300 million people in the entire world who have been diagnosed or who have been seen for anxiety-like conditions. Anxiety is a response to stress, and it can also be chemical or hormonal imbalances in the brain. It's completely normal to be anxious. I get anxious sometimes, but I don't let that stop me from doing what I need to be doing in life. We all have fears and phobias. It can be as simple as being anxious of driving to work, or being anxious about going to work, being anxious about recording a YouTube video, being anxious or having a fear of going to the gym, having a fear that someone in the gym might be judging you for how you're working out. There are a million types of anxiety disorders. There's generalized anxiety disorder. It can get as serious as phobias, arachnophobia, agoraphobia. I can't think of any more. Claustrophobia. There are a lot. And anxiety can really bring you down mentally, physically, and spiritually. So what happens when anxiety is left unchecked? Chronic stress, which is long-term, can reduce the quality of living dramatically. Your hair, skin, your nails can weaken, your muscles can atrophy, which means they get smaller and they lose strength, your bones become brittle, and eventually your immunity will go right down the toilet. And having a weakened immunity, especially right now with everything that's going on, is not very good. A weakened immunity can lead you to susceptible to bacteria, viruses, parasites, and a host of a bunch of other diseases that you don't want. I sure don't want that. So what if I told you there were actually quite a few ways to conquer your own anxiety by yourself, and you could be free once again? First and foremost, you personally have to take action. There is no one else in this entire world that can help you other than yourself. I mean, you can seek professional help and you can talk to people, but the only person that can get rid of it or take a charge, take a stand against your own anxiety disorder is you. If that means speaking out in public when you don't want to, or going to work and making the best of it, going to the gym, regardless what people think of you, you just have to do it. Taking action is the number one thing, because that's what you fear. You fear doing the thing. You have to take action. So that's number one. Take action. Next, I would say, is sleep. Sleeping is very important for mental and physical recovery, especially if you're not getting good sleep. Your body is going to be wore down the next day, and bad sleep adds up. So if you're not getting good sleep multiple nights in a row, that's going to lead to a host of problems. That's going to weaken your immunity. You're going to be sluggish, fatigued, and tired. And there's a bunch of other things I could get into just about sleep. But prioritize your sleep. No phones an hour and a half, and maybe even 2 hours before bed. So that means turn your TV off, turn your phone on airplane mode, turn the lights off, read a book if you have to make your eyes tired. Try breathing before bed, but I'll get into that a little bit later about what breathing exercises you can do. And what if anxiety prevents you from sleeping? So that comes into being physically active as well. That means your mind is racing before bed, you have too much going on inside your head, you're worried about something. So the best thing I used to do for my anxiety was to just try and work out as much as possible and, physically wear myself down to where I didn't even give my brain the chance to think about too much stuff before bed. Because, I've been a victim of that before as well, where my mind's racing, I'm thinking about, what am I going to wear tomorrow? People are going to think I'm stupid. Oh my goodness. And I'm constantly worrying about silly little things that I don't need to be worried about. So be physically active. Some of the things I like to do are lifting weights, running. Sprinting is a good one that really wears you down. A lot of people I know like to swim. Swimming is a full body exercise. I don't really swim that often, but when I do, it makes my whole body sore and I get incredible sleep. And then same with yoga. I do yoga like maybe once, twice a week. And then I do certain yoga poses every morning, and then I do some before bed as well to help relax my mind and my body. And that also goes hand in hand with the breathing. There are a few breathing exercises I like to do. One of them is called Wim Hof. Wim Hof is just breathe in through your nose as deep as you can, and then breathe out through a straw. As much as possible. You take in the biggest breath possible all the way down to your diaphragm, and then you breathe it all out. Close those balloons up, squeeze them dry. And then you repeat that, I would say 30 or more times. And then on the last one, hold your breath. Hold that expiration out. It really works. It gives you, and when you first inhale that big breath of oxygen, it's like nothing I've ever felt. It just completely revamps my mind, and I don't even remember what I was worried about before because I'm so worried about getting oxygen to my body. That's a good one. A lot of people do that on Twitter with the cold therapy. I know, like, they take the ice baths. I've only done those a few times after like football practice in high school, but I'm not a big fan of that. I like the cold, but I don't like the cold that much. And what else? That goes also hand in hand with meditation. When I meditate, I like to do box breathing. So I close my eyes and I let my mind wander. I don't try to think about anything. I don't try to like force my brain to stop thinking. I let my mind wander where it needs to go. If I want to think about soda, I'll ponder about soda for a little bit. If I want to think about my personal training sessions I've had with my clients, I break that down. If I want to think about last night's dinner, I think about that. And then I do box breathing at the same time when I meditate. So box breathing is you breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 4, breathe out through your mouth through a straw for 4 seconds as well, and then hold for 4. 4, 4, 4, 4. That's why they call it box breathing. And you just repeat that. I would repeat that 10 to 20 times, as much as you like, and then take a break, get up, and then you can repeat it again, but I just do it one time. That's all I really need to let my mind calm down and just think about whatever comes to my brain. I just listen to my body. Limit your stimulants. That is a great one. Stimulants give me terrible anxiety. One of the last times I had awful anxiety, I didn't have anything on my stomach, and I drank a coffee at work, and I was shaking. And I was constantly worrying about little things that I don't normally worry about, like wondering about like what people are looking at my hair, or if people are judging me, or if there's like stains on my shirt, or just silly little things like the way my shoes look. And I eventually I drank a lot of water, which is also good for anxiety, and it went away. It was the caffeine. The caffeine probably increased my cortisol, which is your stress hormone. I had a high blood pressure most likely, and my heart was racing. And I drank some water, I did some breathing in the bathroom, and I calmed down. You could always journal it out. Sometimes before bed, when I've got a lot on my mind, I do a brain dump. It's just when I take a pen or a pencil and I just write. I write everything that comes to my brain. I might write about work, and then I'd branch off of work, or maybe personal training and like what I can do better with my clients or my family, how I can be more grateful, and how I live in the moment more. It can range from anything, but just let it flow. Don't stop and think about what you're gonna write. Whatever comes to your brain, write it down. Brain dump. Unload all of that information. It is very helpful. Sometimes I do it. I don't do it often, but I do it whenever I feel like it. You have to listen to your body. And then you could always talk to someone, find a friend, a family member that you love and that you trust that you could talk to. I open up to my wife sometimes about my anxiety. I open up to my friends. I'm always very open. I call them and say, hey, I'm worried about this. What do you think I should do? Or, I'm not feeling very well about this situation coming up. I need your help. Can you run me through it? Can you break it down for me? And just having somebody listen to you and, help you break down your feelings a little bit better goes a long way. And sometimes that person might not understand what you're going through, but at least they can hear you out and they can listen to you. It's nice just to be listened to sometimes. I will say you could try psilocybin or magic mushrooms. A lot of people, including me, have had great luck and experience with this. You have to do it in the right environment, so be with trusted friends who are also going to try the psilocybin, and go out in nature. Start inside, take the psilocybin, go out to nature, and just have a good time. Let your mind go. Just have a good time. That's all it is, really. And actually, some companies in Canada, some pharmaceutical companies, have taken like the psilocybin, like the chemical itself, and they're treating PTSD patients with psilocybin, and it actually helps a lot with anxiety because psilocybin creates new neural pathways in your brain. So you can think about an instance in your life with PTSD, and when you're on the psilocybin, your brain will create a new neural pathway that branches to that part of your brain, and it creates a new memory of the instance, or you can think about it without going back down that traumatic neural pathway. You can think about it in a different light. So that's why psilocybin is very beneficial. I've tried it a few times, and it works. It definitely works. It's just something I can't describe the feeling to you. You have to do it for yourself. And while we're on substances, limit them. Don't do them often. Psilocybin is like a twice a year, once a year, maybe at most 3 times a year thing. Don't drink alcohol. Alcohol makes you depressed. It brings out sad feelings, and it lowers your body temperature. It hurts your liver, hurts your brain, which causes more chemical imbalances. Alcohol gives me anxiety, makes me worry about shit that I don't really care about actually. So just don't drink alcohol. It's bad. And limit your marijuana use. Marijuana is good occasionally, but if you're depending on it every single day, multiple times a day, you wake up, smoke a few hours later, you can't leave the house without smoking, maybe you should take a look and see that marijuana might be the issue or one of the issues. Same thing with alcohol. If you're abusing alcohol, you're drinking 3-4 times a week, 5 times a week, every single night, maybe the alcohol is the issue. And that's anything, even with caffeine. Maybe if you're consuming caffeine multiple times a day, every single day without cycling, which is gradually reducing how much you're using, or just taking a break, caffeine could be the issue. Like nicotine, smoking, cigarettes, anything can be an issue. As long as you're aware of that could be the cause of your anxiety. And one other thing I would say is change your environment up. A lot of people, they get stuck in the same 4 or 5 walls every single day. They're in a cubicle at work, they're in an office, they're in their bedroom, they're stuck there thinking about things, thinking too hard, thinking too much, their mind's racing. Go outside, go spend time in nature, go on a walk, go do something spontaneous. Go to a coffee shop, get a coffee, play on your laptop, do some homework, read a book at a coffee shop, anything like that. Go visit a museum, for crying out loud. Can't forget about magnesium. You cannot forget about magnesium. I almost left it out, but I take magnesium probably 4 to 5 nights a week. I take magnesium glycinate, which is magnesium attached to glycine, the amino acid. And glycine really helps out with sleep, and magnesium helps with nervous system and muscle recovery. It does a host of things. It's required in, I believe, 40 or 400 biochemical reactions inside of your body. So it's necessary. And over 50% of Americans are magnesium deficient. They don't even get the dietary recommended amount, which is like 400 milligrams a day. Because that's a whole other YouTube video I'd have to make to talk about magnesium. I'd have to get my friend Grim Hood on here from Twitter to talk about that, but we don't have all day. After you take magnesium, document how you feel. It makes me sleepy. I have insane dreams. So that means I'm getting quality rest and I'm feeling recovered for the next day. And the last thing I would say, definitely the last thing, is seek professional help. In the end, if none of the things I said work, if taking action doesn't work, if sleeping more, you're working out, you're meditating, you're trying, you're breathing, you journal, you talk to people, you gave up alcohol, you gave up your addiction to caffeine, to marijuana, nicotine, whatever, you gave up everything, you're eating nutritious, and you still get anxiety, that's when I would go seek professional help. I would exhaust all available pathways and options I had. I would try my hardest to get rid of the anxiety by myself. And in the end, if it didn't work, seek help. Don't be afraid. Nobody is going to judge you for seeking help. Not a single soul will say, hey, look at that idiot. He's getting help because he has anxiety. Sometimes there is legitimate chemical imbalances in our brain that cannot be fixed. And it's okay to get help, to go to a therapist, to go to a doctor. Just be aware of your anxiety beforehand, and think about the multiple ways that you can fix it by yourself. And if you're wondering why I'm speaking out on this, it's because I feel like all of my friends and even my family members are all telling me, oh, I have anxiety, and I feel like just nobody is trying that hard to do something about it. When I realized how anxious and how much anxiety I truly had, I immediately got to the source. I said, okay, I am anxious because I'm not being a good person. I'm rude. I'm an asshole. I'm not very nice to people. I skip class. I'm drinking 4 or 5 nights a week. I'm smoking marijuana every single day. I have 4 cups of coffee. I drank a whole pot of coffee. And I actually ended up splitting with my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife. And, my life was a mess. And I realized it was a mess at a good point. I didn't let it get too bad. But, I still had anxiety. It ended up leading to depression. And, there were some days where I just didn't want to leave the house. I just wanted to sit in my bed. And I actually did that. I skipped class. I didn't go to the gym. I just didn't go outside. I just laid in bed, played on my phone, watched TV all day, watched sports, played Madden, listened to music, and that didn't help. I should have went to class. I should have went to the gym, and I should have talked to more people about it, but I kept it bottled inside. And that was one mistake I do regret, was not telling more people about my anxiety and getting help sooner. So please, please take action. If taking action is small steps every single day to better yourself, do it. Maybe you speak in front of somebody for a few minutes, or maybe you tell one of your closest friends some of your issues. Little by little. You don't have to do all of these things at once, but make a checklist. Say, just start from the top, go all the way to the bottom, and then seek professional help. Well, I'm going to wrap it up here. That is the episode 3 of Solo Primal Talk. Hunter French, out. Everybody stay blessed. Thank you for watching Primal Talk. Share this video with anybody you know that has anxiety, and follow our other social media. Stay blessed.